Yeah,
I can't remember the
agree.
last thing I watched where I was like, well, that was a waste of my time.
Oh, I can.
I was gonna watch what is it, Meth Gator last weekend, and I just figured, probably not.
If you put a drug and an animal together, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a bummer.
All right, let's rock and roll on this.
Woo!
Hey everybody, it's Aaron Christensen with Horror 101 with Dr. AC, and this is Streaming and Screaming with my hosts, Chad the Bird.
What's up?
And Lucy Ball.
Hi, how are you?
And while we usually talk about things that are streaming right now on the internet, this one is going to be a little different in that we're going to be talking about the best of horror 2024, which is basically the stuff we saw that we liked. And if you didn't like it, that's okay. But we want to hear from you.
I think you might should have put an asterisk on best there with some of the stuff I'm going to trot out. But,
yeah, well,
I get it.
Yeah, best is in like we liked it. We thought it was fun. Lucy and I were talking backstage. If you have a good time, is it make it a good movie? No, but does it make it a great movie? Maybe.
Megalopolis is not a good film, but I had a great time.
Oh, I want to see that one. That looks kind of cool.
Worth seeing in theaters.
Ugh.
So bad.
Lucy, do you not like theaters anymore?
I like the option. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
Because there's some films. There's
spoken like an American.
Yeah. Give me choices, or give me convenience, or give me that. Yeah, I think that's a Dead Kennedy song. But yeah, there's like a couple things on here I went to the theater for because I was like super stoked. But there's other ones where I'm like, I'd rather sit on my couch and get blind drunk and watch this.
You can't get blind
Megalopolis.
drunk in the theater. Come on. Megalopolis you have to go to see in the theater because they do stuff with the screen.
Ooh, I got a big ass TV. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but you don't have. Do you know about the thing where they got a guy on the audience that comes out during the movie and stuff? Do you know about what goes
Spoiler.
on? I think Megalopolis. Okay, calm down.
I think you're pulling my butt hairs here. I do not think they do that.
Okay, so they do. There is a moment in Megalopolis where the screen gets small and Adam Driver talks directly to the audience. And in certain theaters that you pay for the experience, a person gets up out of the audience and walks towards the screen and talks to it.
Wow.
See, that's very cool. Do it everywhere if you're going to do it. Come on. There's hungry actors in every state,
it's true.
In every city.
I was like, well, then this should be in every theater. And they're like, nah, apparently they can't afford that. I'm like, that guy got paid? What? I'll do that. Yeah, it's something else to behold. But yeah, you should not be sober.
Yeah, that does sound like I'm talking trash, but that does sound actually like a really cool thing to have.
It
happen.
is a really cool
considering how into William Castle and things like that, the ballyhoo.
Like if more movies did that, I'd be in the theater way more.
Yeah, make it worth my time. That's why I think 4DX is super fun.
Or you could just invite people over to your place, and they could do shadow cast stuff for you right there.
I'll just sit in my lazy boy over here and I'll rumble the chair for you.
I chain my friends to the couch and I say, okay, you're Brad, you're Janet, I'm Frankenfurter. Obviously, no one else gets to be Frankenfurter.
I like going to your place. It's like a Sweet 16 party. It's like, no, I'm Frankenfurter.
Yeah, nobody better come dressed like the Crow. If you dress like the Crow, you're getting kicked out.
You can't get kicked out of the party.
I don't know how we're going to do this tonight, but I know we have a top 5. Sort of. Also, I'd like to just kind of like talk about maybe movies that came out that didn't land in the top 5, but perhaps were of some significance and that you had thoughts about. But yeah, let's go ahead and kick things off with our top 5. Let's start at the low end and go up. Chad, what would you say is your number 5?
My number 5 of 2024 was, and I know how we all feel about this film, but was Longlegs.
Okay.
Really good time.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to put that at the bottom of the top 5 because it was definitely memorable. I saw it several times. I have seen it several times since. It's just a good, gloomy watch. It has a vibe. And, I'm a Cage stan, but I've made that very clear.
Lucy, did that land in your top 5?
Let me look here. Did it? Oh, yeah, it did, actually. Not at number 5, but it is in there. Yeah.
So it's higher. It's higher up.
Yeah, it's higher up than 5.
So let's go ahead and reveal as the titles are revealed. We can, if it's in our standings, we can tell people where it landed.
Yeah, that works. Longlegs was 4 for me.
Same here. It was one. I think. I mean, if you cast your memory back dear listener, you can find our in-depth conversation about Longlegs.
Yeah.
Does YouTube still do annotations? You can like,
Yeah, I can put a
you
little
click the
right over there, right
guy
over
there.
Chad's
Yeah,
head. I'll be
click
putting
that
it.
one.
Yep. But yeah, I like Longlegs as well. I think my issue was that I wasn't sure if I liked it the first time I watched it.
It had
But-
that like Coen Brothers vibe like that. When you see a Coen Brothers movie and you're like, I don't know if this is good or not. And
Yeah.
then you think about it, you're like, yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah.
I just remember being like so thoroughly surprised at how much I did like it that was enough to keep it off of number 5 or below, because it really surprised me, and I thought I even had a leg up on some folks. I felt like I sort of expected it to get weird, but maybe not that weird, So it surprised me.
Yeah.
I love what Osgood Perkins does with movies, that he like keeps going. He's like David Lynch in that respect. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Don't talk about it.
I won't, but
Hurts
I did
people's
enough.
feelings.
I said what I had to say.
And you said it very well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But like
We'll link that too.
he like Osgood exists outside of what you're looking at. So like what you're looking at isn't exactly what he wants you to look at. Or it's exactly what he wants you to look at, but it's not what's going on. So there's like always something else happening in the background. So you got like his rewatches are the best.
Yeah.
Well,
agreed.
throwing that on the pile. Got to check that
good
out again.
stuff.
Lucy, what was your 5?
My number 5. I didn't really put these in a particular order.
And that's okay, because this is good TV, is watching you figure it out.
Yeah, right.
Googling is always fun to watch.
I would say that for me, I think my number 5 was Suitable Flesh.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
I've got a big soft spot for the cosmic horror thing. I like external forces like totally breaking somebody's brain, and other people don't exactly believe it, but it's like truly. I just think it's a really neat backdrop for any story. And I really enjoyed it, but there was a lot of stuff I enjoyed a lot better. But it made enough of an impact for me to like really tack it up high.
You're like, I want people to know about this one.
Yeah. Like if you don't mind watching people get concerningly freaky deaky, check it out. It's cool.
Yeah, there was a bit of a soft core element to that film where I was very like,
I'm no prude. I'm a
Of
big,
course.
big John Waters guy. Like go far and go for it. But man, I felt like those actors needed to like run off to backstage for a little bit to work some things out.
Yeah, there was moments in the movie where I was like, should I go?
I felt like I was intruding on him. Yeah.
Sorry if it's just too much for you. Oh, okay, you want me to stay?
Nope. You like it.
Okay.
Oh, and she's got the knife again. Awesome.
Okay, we're back.
We also talked about that. That was, I think, our inaugural show. That was the first time
Right.
we talked about it, which is almost a year ago. And I just wanted to take this moment to say thank you both.
Yeah.
For this lovely little enterprise that we've done. It is a thing I look forward to with great relish. And I know we have some dedicated listeners out there that this is their favorite thing they say
What
on
up,
the
Dads?
channel.
Good to see you.
So thank you all for supporting Streaming and
High
Screaming.
five.
And thank you both especially for brightening up my day, every other month or so.
Yeah, I enjoy this with great pickle relish. So I think we get it.
I'm a sweet and spicy kind of bird. I'm gonna go Jardiniere because I'm a Chicago.
Chardonnay, okay. You like okay, here comes the redneck thing.
Here we go.
Do you guys do chow chow on the hot dogs up there?
Talk about it.
What's a chow chow?
Chow chow is like it's like a relish, but it's peppers instead of pickles.
Yeah.
Oh,
are they like
okay.
sport peppers?
I couldn't tell you. I just know we kept it in a jar, and my grandma would say, "Get the chow chow."
Yeah, that sounds like Jardiniere. That's like Southern Jardiniere a little bit. It's like sport
delicious.
peppers and like spicy oil and stuff.
Yeah, it's like the exact same thing.
You know, Lucy, when you come to Chicago,
Yes.
we will indulge in some Jardiniere.
Yeah.
Oh,
But not right
Okay.
now because it's like 1 degree out.
Yeah, you don't
so.
want to do
Well,
that right
the spicy might help. It might help.
Yeah,
It's true.
yes,
That's why we
it doesn't
do it.
hurt. It's true. That's
and
true.
And that's also why we drink.
Yeah, I'm saying the Malort, and I think has something to do with that too. Yeah.
I like pickle relish, but with on a bed of mayonnaise.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you really
Interesting.
like the Beatles too, huh?
I really like their early stuff.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Before
know,
they
you
started
really
doing
think that
drugs and
Cooper
getting
Oh man,
cool.
it got all
Celebrates
weird.
the whole genre.
The
Please,
two-part
why don't
harmony.
you mansplain about Pink Floyd for a little bit for me?
Yeah, and then we'll talk about Rush, and then
Oh, okay. I can talk Rush. I can talk Rush all day.
What are you?
No, not. Yeah.
my number 5 was Exhuma, the
Yeah.
South Korean mummy
Yeah.
film,
Still
which I
haven't
heard about
watched it.
on this show, thanks to
Yep.
Chad,
Oh,
who referred to it as a mummy movie without a mummy,
it's true.
which is totally accurate. And then I referred to that when we did our mummy episode. So thanks, Chad.
Me, little old me. I'll take it. Yeah,
that
that
one's-
movie, man.
It's like
damn
long
fine
as a
time.
bitch, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like 2:15,
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel like 2:15.
Okay. Okay. I can
I
get
know
into
people would say In the Violent Nature felt longer
Yeah,
than that movie.
it earned its runtime. It reminded me a little bit of The Wailing in that way.
Yes,
that. Okay.
which is
I did
another
see the
long,
Wailing. I
epic
do know that
horror.
one. Yeah.
And it really earns the ending.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. It is
Yes.
streaming on Shudder right now, I believe.
Oh, we also doing that. We're doing that where these movies fall on our list.
If you can.
That's number 3.
Is it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
interesting.
this is, I'll throw this out there. So if somebody's already mentioned a movie, maybe think about referring to another movie in your top
Dare
five.
we?
Dare-
Call
you
in
know-
audibles. Call
we
in
are.
audibles.
Changing rules on live TV.
Yep.
Shifting over, Chad, if we haven't already mentioned your number 4, what's your number
My
4?
number 4 was The Demon Disorder.
Ooh, wait.
Okay.
I've
I
not
don't
seen
know
that.
that one. Yeah.
Really? You guys know that one? Okay.
No.
John Noble, Denethor from The Lord of the Rings, and also
Never
from
saw
Fringe. You never saw The Lord of the Rings?
No, I fell asleep in the first like 45 minutes and never tried again.
Wow.
How are we friends? How do we text each other? Oh, anyway, no, John Noble. Did you ever see Fringe?
The
You were-
TV
You
show?
were aware of Fringe, the show.
I've
show.
heard the name. Yeah.
Okay, he's also on that. He plays a dad. He's got. It's an allegory for dementia. I believe it's an Australian film. There's 3 actors in it. It's John Noble and these 2 guys, and they're both character actors you've seen in movies. And the whole thing is a little bit. It's a little bit The Thing, and a little bit. What was that? Bill Pack Frailty.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's the Mormon. Oh no, no, it's not Mormon. I just
Well,
knew
the
a
cult-
Mormon
it's like
who
the
likes the
culty-
Yeah,
movie.
the religious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
can see the demons and
Yeah.
moidism.
Well,
and
now
stuff.
imagine if that wasn't, spoilers for Frailty. Imagine if that wasn't like a twist.
Right.
Imagine if it just was a
Ooh.
You just
straight line.
Straight, you just knew that.
That's just a thing. Yeah, John Noble is there. He's a dad on a farm, and his 2 sons are going back to check on him because shit's starting up again. And it's an allegory for like what happens to loved ones when they change because of like some mental problem like dementia or like Alzheimer's and stuff. And but it is fully realized in a horror context with an amazing final creature experience. So it is a creature design.
Ooh,
So
okay.
so it's the taking of Deborah Logan, but with a man.
Yeah, kinda a little bit, but it's more fun. Like the taking of Deborah Logan's down.
It's not fun.
I don't
Yeah.
watch that movie for it to be fun though. It's
But
good
it's funny because
out.
it's like brothers being doinks to each other while their dad is slowly becoming a monster.
Whoa, okay. You got me back in. You
I
reeled
like
me back in.
It's way more entertaining than you would expect it to be based on the fact that it's like an indie and that it's kind of a well-worn ground, but they just give it some juice. It had a little bit of The Dark and the Wicked too.
Oh, well,
man. If it was
that's-
2022, I'd be talking all day
'Cause
about
that
that
was
movie.
number
Because that's
one
not
of the year.
fun. Yeah.
No, not at all. But you know what? It's fun in like the way a Stephen King paperback on an airplane is fun.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
I have a lot of anxiety right
Yeah.
now, but I don't want this to end. Yeah, no, the Demon Disorder.
The
Loved it.
Demon Disorder. Where can we find the Demon Disorder?
That one I believe is on Shudder
Okay.
or it's on Hulu,
Interesting.
one of the two. Or it's just
All
on Tubi. Everything's on fucking Tubi.
Tubi kind of rules,
It
man.
does.
I'm not gonna lie.
100%.
Tubi for the win.
You can watch Kentucky Fried Movie on Tubi.
Oh man,
Like,
yeah. See, that's the thing. Like Tubi is the TV that I would never leave home. I'd be
Right.
like, I'm just gonna watch this all day.
It is the
Yeah.
Blockbuster video of today. You
yeah,
just
it's
kinda
it's
walk through.
totally a video store. They got
Yeah.
all the weird stuff.
Which is
for
great.
the win.
Lucy, what's your number 4?
Well, since my number 4 was Longlegs, I'll
Right.
say I'll make the call that my number 4 will be Broadcast Signal Intrusion. You guys
Ooh.
Go on.
heard about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my Jay Leno. You
I was
seen
gonna
this? You
say,
heard
is this
about
your type 5?
Yeah, yeah. So okay, so my wife, right? No,
Take her.
I was trying to remember a Rodney Dangerfield joke, and then I just started thinking about Rodney Dangerfield.
Ugh.
Anyway, Broadcast Signal Intrusion. It's this movie. I think it came out 2022 or 3, but it hit my radar last year. And it's about this guy, and he's an archivist. I want to say he's an archivist in Chicago, even.
Cool.
But he's like a video archivist for a sort of
you're right,
local
it's Chicago.
TV network.
Okay.
And his wife was a ballet dancer, and she went missing X number of years ago. And while he's digging through tapes, he finds this one piece of footage that gets like hacked, and it's all this weird, creepy imagery and stuff. And as he digs further through these intrusions, he believes that it may have something to do with the disappearance of his wife. And he gets all wrapped up in seedy chat rooms and early 90s Chicago underbelly stuff.
Whoa.
And it's awesome. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm
it's
Googling it right now.
Yeah,
and Chris Sullivan is in it. You remember Sully, right? Dr. AC. Did you ever meet Chris Sullivan?
The Chicago
Big
guy?
Yes, Chicago guy, big guy with a beard.
I-
He actually was Taserface in the Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
What?
But you would recognize him because I believe he was a Red Orchid guy for a while. I think
Okay.
that's right.
Yeah,
But yeah, Sully is in that movie.
that's cool.
And it is awesome. I'm a big internet horror creepypasta guy or whatever. And it's got that sort of vibe. It plays around with the general analog horror thing, and it's cool. It deals a lot with paranoia and like the way a person can dive fully into an obsession and lose all touch with the outside world. And it's great. It was awesome. Total sleeper hit. Check it out if you haven't seen it. I believe I saw it on Screambox.
This
Okay.
is the guy who did The Signal and also Synchronicity. Jacob Gentry did this one. It was from 2007.
Oh, the one with David Bruckner?
Yeah,
Like
that's the one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like a couple different directors
Yeah,
directing
it's
different
3
segments of
yeah,
it.
It's the analog or the
Okay.
the anthology one.
It's not quite an anthology. It's like
But
there's 3
it's like a
different sections of the
Rashomon.
same. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Anthology-esque.
Which is a great movie. Signal 2007. Highly recommended.
Yeah, same guy did the broadcast signal
Intrusion.
Intrusion.
Broadcast Signal
The
Intrusion.
Rock-afire explosion.
Sweet. And big shout out to Screambox because
Oh man.
much like
yeah.
Tubi, they are rocking it.
For like Screambox, really, like I can't sing their praises enough because one, they pay attention to a small time guys. I think that's very cool of them. They like totally don't have to do that, but they sort of do. It's free advertising,
Yep.
but it's like dirt cheap, and they've got so much like really interesting, super DIY stuff on there that you can't really find elsewhere. And they've got a great back catalog of like Grindhouse classics and stuff.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
We like Screambox.
Yeah.
We like
Is it one of
Screambox
those
a
things where you got a package from them, Lucy, where it's just like, I'm gonna unbox my Screambox and inside?
No,
I
that
found some
was
stickers.
Deadly Sweet sent me
Oh,
a care
okay.
package. They're
Cool.
they're a bakery here in
Nobody ever
California.
sends me any packages. Send me a present.
Why?
She made a chocolate bar with my little face on it. It was so
Oh,
cute.
wow.
I shouldn't
That's
have eaten
cool.
it, but I totally ate it.
Yeah, you don't eat male
Did
chocolate.
you take a picture, I hope?
It's somewhere. Yeah, I did a
Okay.
video for her. So
Yep.
if you
Okay.
dig on my Instagram, it's there.
I'll just make a confession right now. I don't really have a top 5 in order. I just have 5 films that really resonated for me. So
Oh, I do.
it's easy for me to
I
jump
ranked.
in and throw out Oddity from
Nice.
2024.
That's your number 3.
Yo,
We're
that
on
was
number
that was
4.
my next one up on the list.
Yeah,
I was
really
totally doing Oddity.
liked Oddity. It's the same director as Caveat. And that was
Also
one.
loved Caveat.
Oh
That
man,
movie
Caveat.
ruled.
Well, Caveat is great with the caveat of you have to be willing
Writ
to
large.
buy into that bananas setup. Like you're like, no, nobody would ever do that.
Right.
But once you get over that part, you're like, this is a great friggin' movie. But
I'm the master of suspension of disbelief. Just show me something, I'm going with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Oddity
I'm fine
does not
with like the reason is because that'd be cool and or scary.
Yeah,
okay.
you don't have to
man.
have as heavy a lift though with Oddity. Like you can just kind of go with it.
Oh,
you just go with it.
the blind psychic isn't a heavy lift, really? That's crazy.
We've seen that in every. Come on,
True.
come on. That's like that harkens way back. The blind psychic. I mean, she who cannot see that sees.
Yeah,
you know?
sight beyond sight. And
That's
all
Tiresias
that.
from
I read,
Oedipus.
Oh yeah, they
All
just
right.
ripped off Batman with the Oracle though. So whatever.
But yes, I think that the performances, and I say performances because it's the same actress playing twin sisters.
Yeah.
But the performances are just terrific, and there's some like shocking moments where it's like you just it catches you off guard with a jump scare that feels not
Fair.
cheap at all.
Feel fair. I'm just.
They
like,
were
oh,
all
not.
they were
fair.
well earned jump scares.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah.
And the
And
little
also just-
wooden guy was awesome.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What? Not a little wooden guy.
No, he's just a little guy. Come on, he's just a little
Full-ass
guy.
man.
He's giant. This
He's a little
giant
guy.
man size. I'm also
That-
like, how did this blind
Yeah.
woman like drag this
That
giant?
made me laugh so hard when that thing came out. I was like, "The fuck?
Yep,
Like,
that just
you're
showed
cool.
up.
This is cool. Don't worry about it. Just let me go put my mannequin in the corner here. My
This is my husband,
deranged
Jerome."
mannequin. I was like, is this like Lars and the Real Girl? Like, is
Yeah.
this
Oh,
gonna
I
go
love
there?
that movie. Oh man, wow.
It's a lot like that, just the scarier version.
Yeah. No, I thought that movie was legitimately scary. It did not crack my top 5, but it was a very scary good watch. I think I gave it 3.5.
Cool.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I really
Oh,
dug
man,
that.
discerning tastes over
I
here.
have my reasons.
I'm
do
looking
believe we got
forward to
into
hearing
it.
what beat Oddity for you.
Oh, I got them. I can't wait.
Well, we don't have to. Dive in. What's number 3?
Number 3 on my list is where is it? I wanted to sound so. Oh, Infested.
Ooh, the spider one.
Yeah, that messed me up, man. That got into my head and made me insane. Everything made me jump after that movie was over. I would like look over and it would be like a floater in my eye, and I'd be like, "Son of a!"
What we almost talked about
I
that.
really like the smashing motion.
Yeah, just because there's
That was good.
The thing about arachnophobia, which is a classic and a favorite of my movie, like
Yes.
lifestyle.
Celebrating its 30th anniversary or 35th
Whoa,
anniversary. this year.
really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Jeff
They-
Daniels for the win.
Now you can all feel old.
Cool. But like that movie, like the spiders move really slowly and then they'll like drop on you, and that's like messes you up a little bit. In this one, they were all juiced. Like the methiest spiders. So they,
Oh, yeah,
and
they were
were
tweaking,
little
yeah.
too, and they would just be like, and be like, oh my god. And so as soon as the movie was over, I would just be like hanging out, like making some food or something. Something would catch my eye, and I would spin around and just like with the wooden spoon, like, no, get out of here. And I was like, it's been a while since a movie's made me legitimately like shockingly scared.
Oh, that
and
makes
that
me
one
happy.
really got me.
Now, every spider scene did make me scream.
Yep.
I'm not
It's a
going.
screamer.
I'm not going to act like I'm better than that. I scrum very loudly, but I wanted. I don't know. The human drama
Yeah,
was
I
kind of
wanted to care
bland
more
to me.
too. I'll give you that. It was. An
I'm not even
experience.
going to say I wanted to care more because, like, whatever. But I feel like they could have had more spiders the size of dogs. Like, sure, let them start out normal. Sure, they can start out normal, but they should have had some like Doberman-sized spiders. in
Eventually, you got to have a big spider.
The
Yeah,
thing that they did though, they shot it with like 100 huntsman spiders, and then they did that thing that they did in Cabin in the Woods. There's a moment in Cabin in the Woods, spoilers for Cabin in the Woods, at the end where there's all the cubes and you see all the different monsters in there.
Yep.
And it was a great like behind the scenes moment where they showed how they made the spider, because there's a spider in there and it looks very realistic. And then what they did was they made a bunch of cubes of various sizes, so some monsters would be really big and some monsters would be really small.
Forced
So what they
perspective.
did is they shot a real spider inside a tiny cube
Yep.
and then blew that cube up to be the size of the other one. So that's why it looked like that. And they did that in Infested as well. They
Nice.
shot
Oh, like-
real spiders and then they like zoomed in on them. So that thing was the really big ones that come in at the end. Those were real spiders. They were just blown up.
That
Nice.
is an interesting piece of special effects, but go hard, go crazy with it. Like And I don't know, like these downtrodden inner city people. It felt like somebody who had not
It's set
been
in
a
France,
downtrodden.
right?
Yeah. But it felt like it was written by somebody who had not been a downtrodden inner city person, I guess.
The building that they use has like a history about that, though. Like, there's a whole reason why they use that co-op, because it's like some famous co-op that's like, it was like what happens, like a bunch of people from various means all live in this one building.
Yeah, and now it's in a famous movie, and it will quickly become gentrified.
Right, unless there's spiders.
No, that's an idea.
No.
That's an idea.
No.
See, this is actually just a preservation tactic.
Yeah.
You're like,
I like
nobody's moving in here.
Nobody
There's
wants
spiders.
that. But like, also, it was very French. So like the drama
Yeah.
for moments were just so off the chain that you were like, everybody is screaming. Why
That's
is
it. It was
everybody screaming?
melodramatic in a way I didn't really want it to be. That's
Oh, and I
that's
liked
totally
that.
it.
I was like, give me that hardcore telenovela level of insanity while these fucking spiders are just all up in your business.
I remember we almost talked about that, and then somebody talked me out of it, and I was like, I think I got like 20 minutes in. I plan to go back to it. I have it. I still have it in my Shudder queue, but I have not finished it because I think, like you, Lucy, I was kind of like, there's so much human talk right now. There's so much human talk.
But like by the end, it's like a full on just like horror house. Like you're just going through a spider horror house.
Give me 8-legged freaks or give me death.
Here we go. David Arquette called.
Yeah, he's a wrestler and he's bozo now. So like you don't get much better.
Lucy, what's a third movie from you?
I put this one at 3 because 1, it's thematic, and 2, it like when I left the theater, I had a whole personality crisis about it, and that's Terrifier 3.
Oh gosh. Okay, good.
Because eons ago, I watched the first Terrifier as it came out, and I was like, I get it. I don't care. I don't think I like this movie very much. And then Terrifier 2 came out, and I was like, well, I gotta see what the fuss is about, right? And although it was far too long, like they could have cut maybe 40 minutes out and still had the same movie, I think. But I watched it. It was like, wow, I feel like they're really honing in on what makes this a cool franchise for people. So then Terrifier 3 comes out, and everybody's talking about it, and you see Christmas Clown on all the posters, and I'm like, well, I gotta see what the fuss is about again. And about 30 to 45 minutes into the movie, I was sat in the chair eating the salami I snuck in, and I was like, do I love this movie? Is this awesome? Am I having a great time? And I was. And it really changed the way I thought about that whole series with one movie where I feel like they fully nailed the tone and like where they got the general vibe or story they were trying to tell in the second one. The third one, I feel like they really settled into what the tone ought to be, because it was just like hyper violent Looney Tunes in the best way, and I really, really enjoyed it.
I saw someone refer to Art the Clown as a horror Buster Keaton. And I kind of enjoy it, because he's not a clown; he's a mime. We've talked about this.
Dude was an understudy for that Robbie Rotten guy on Lazy Town. Yeah.
But I felt the same way about 1. I wasn't a fan. Then I saw 2, and I was like, oh damn it, this is like, that was my favorite horror film of that year. It was like a deep dish pizza. I'm like, it's messy, and I feel really embarrassed about enjoying it, but like, damn it, it's delicious. And it's way too much.
Have either of you been to a convention where they have the Terrifier crew like at the table doing the autographs and stuff?
Yeah, it wasn't a whole convention. There's like a year-round Halloween store in the LA area.
Okay.
And David Howard Thornton was there doing signings and stuff once, and he seems like a really genuine, cool guy.
Yep.
I've not had any encounters with Leone or nothing, though.
They were at our flashback weekend here in Chicago. Well, I mean, they seem to be kind of a perennial guest at this point. But the lines for the Terrifier tables are huge. I really admire how they've built up a fan base. And it is completely grassroots. They've connected with their fan. I'm like, it blows my mind that this movie is making $100 million worldwide. It's
There
like
was
this should be such a niche kind of
Right.
movie, and it's not.
There was an
And
article that I was reading about how that this is definitely would be any other Hollywood film would get like an NC-17 rating, but somehow they were able to do like a massive unrated
Right.
version that is not only popular but like also like made money.
Well,
And
and I
it's
also
'cause,
love the
they-
fact that
they-
they're not like they're not even going to the MPA. They're just kind of like whatever. Fuck
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, they're doing their own distribution, which when I found that out about the
Wow.
third one, and it was
Yeah.
in theaters, you know,
Yep.
and they distributed that themselves so they wouldn't be beholden to a rating.
Yep.
And I thought that was like admirable. And that was one of the things that got me to go out and see it
Yeah.
because like I do want to do my part to give the message that like if you put something cool enough out,
Right,
people are
right.
gonna put their
People are
butt in
gonna
the
do
seat.
that, yeah.
Yep.
What makes Terrifier like sort of stand out to me in retrospect now is there have been so many indie slashes that have come around and tried their hardest to like introduce a new icon into the canon. I'm looking at you, Hatchet Victor Crowley.
Yep.
Like
of other
They-
nature.
okay, that too, that's fair. But they try very hard to be like, this is the new guy. He's going to be up there with Freddy and Jason and
Right.
Michael Myers, and he's
Right.
going to be on all the t-shirts and stuff. And I feel like they effortlessly did that with art. Like it's obvious they wanted him to be an icon, but it doesn't feel so like forced down your throat about
Yeah.
it. He's just a great character because David Howard Thornton performs it so well.
Right. You know, kind of like Freddy, especially I think more Freddy than Jason, you
Yeah.
know, because Jason and Michael are just kind of these monoliths, but Freddy has a personality. It's very distinct from anybody else. And Art has a personality. It's very distinct. And as you said, David Howard Thornton is making the effort to really connect with fans on screen and off. And I think that's really cool. It's the kind of thing you want to get behind. And it doesn't hurt that the movies do what they do better than a lot of movies that try to do what Terrifier is
Oh
doing.
yeah. And there's a great piece in the third one. I won't say exactly where it goes or all of the details because it gets into sort of spoily territory. And you know, it's hard to spoil a movie that is just let's watch buckets of blood.
Yes.
But
Here's
there's-
another
Let me
gore.
guess, limbs are removed
No,
in a
this-
terrible way.
I mean that does happen.
Good.
But there's one of my favorite pieces in the whole movie is somebody is tied to a chair. And every time Art walks past him, he just smacks him in the back of the head, like in a really funny way. And it's like he's like super evil knife Bugs Bunny, and I love it.
It is like what I would assume some of the slashers from the 70s that like are a little more culty were like in this time period now. Where it's like
Pieces.
this is a movie
Pieces.
pieces. Okay. Yeah, totally. Movies that you're like your parents don't want you to see.
Yeah. Well, and then at all these events I work around here, like there are children. I mean, like
Yes,
5 and
yes.
6-year-olds in
Yep.
Art the Clown t-shirts, and it's awesome. It's
Get it.
awesome.
Get it.
Do either of you have a movie that rhymes with Immaculate in your top 5?
Yes.
It's not in my top 5, but it was written on my little list here.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Well, then
definitely
let's
have
talk.
that.
Let's talk about Immaculate, which we did talk about on the show, and so we've kind of celebrated it already. But I love that movie.
Yup.
Oh,
Like
it was
that was
great,
a movie I was just watching, and I didn't know where it was going to go, and I loved where it went. I loved the performances. I loved the premise. I loved, we don't get all the answers. Like it was, and I love the ending. You know, it's like
Oh,
when
yeah.
a horror movie can really stick the landing like that one does, and goes a place that you're like, they're not going to go there, and then they go there.
Yup.
That's like, I was watching it just like, I'm so happy right now. I'm so happy this movie exists.
Is that your number 3? Is that what
At-
this is?
It's number 3
Okay.
or of 5. Again, I'm
Okay.
not really ranking them, but yes,
Okay.
it's in my top 5 for sure.
Cool. That is definitely like we'll get to what mine is when it gets to it. But like there's only 2 left, so like what could it be?
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute.
Great. Well, talk about it now because we're talking about it.
All right, it is my number one.
Okay.
It's my number one, and it is tied.
Now you have
with
to find a
Smile
new
2.
number one.
Right. Well, I'm gonna talk about my other number one because it's tied. I have a double tie.
Great. Okay.
For number one. But Immaculate was like, I've been watching all these horror movies trying to get the sauce, and like last year with Smile, or 2 years ago with Smile, this one gave me the sauce. Where I was like, it's not spicy enough. It's good, but it's a little too sweet. This is the right texture, but the sauce isn't very good. And Immaculate was like all the boxes checked off, it's perfect pizza.
Yep.
Crust,
Did you
cheese,
eat before
everything.
recording?
No, I'm
today?
so
yeah,
hungry.
it
so
comes
hungry.
across.
If
it
you
comes
joined
across.
my letterbox, you'd know that I do this for all of my films. I liken them to foods because I'm always hungry and stoned. Anyway,
one of these
That's
things.
very
goes
on
with
brand
the
as a
other.
bird, though, right?
I
mean,
figure that
birds
makes
are
sense. We eat.
consistently eating. Yeah.
That's why we get
Eat
up
like
early,
a bird.
man.
That means you take tiny little pecks.
But that's a misnomer.
All
and a
your
myth.
life.
It's a
Your
lie.
entire waking existence, you're trying to find food.
Yep. That's why we get up early, man.
And
Anyway.
trying not to become food. I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
also
that's
that.
why. Well, because we're always running. It was homages across the board to several different kinds of films. There was Italian music from Italian horror movies in the movie. Sydney Sweeney fought for this movie. She went to the mat for this movie, and I will forever stand the Sween because of this movie. And it's like we're following Sydney Sweeney in almost just if she was in an Italian horror movie nightmare, because she's still Sydney Sweeney.
Yep.
And she's just like, yeah, I work at I work at a nunnery.
And I'm a nun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're
I
like,
work at a
okay.
nunnery. That's a weird way to put
Go
that.
ahead. Well, that's what that
Yeah,
was.
I'm a
what I thought
cashier
was,
over at the nun
right. She
factory.
works
I work in the gift shop.
Well,
Exactly.
that's what I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
was going on, because there's no reason why this character should have become a nun. She gives off no nunness. She shows up and she's like,
Nunness.
None.
right?
Yeah.
Where do I put my stuff? And they're like, right over there. And she's like, oh, this place is weird. And you're like, you wanted to be here. You chose this.
Never having been in a convent before.
But I didn't care. I was like, yeah, man, get in there. Bruce Campbell this shit. I thought you were just going to be beating up evil nuns, and that's not what happened.
Nope, that is not what happens.
A+.
Yeah, I feel like they took an avid horror viewer's expectations and used them against us in a really cool way for that movie, because I completely thought it was just going to be an Omen knockoff.
Yup.
And then when it wasn't an Omen knockoff at all, it sucked me all the way in.
Yep. Yeah. No. I don't even want to get into the spoiler territory because I want everyone to watch this movie.
Yeah,
It was perfect in every way.
Since we're here, I mean,
Please
did
do
you guys see? Did you guys see First Omen? What
I
you-
did.
Speaking
No,
of
I
Omen
First
knockoffs,
Omen. I liked it. I had a good time watching it. I gave it a 3 out of 5 for my rating.
Okay.
I thought that and when it was over, the reason I didn't go full higher with it, because it is a very well done little movie, is because it wasn't Immaculate, and it's almost exactly the same. And Immaculate had more fun than First Omen did. First
It
Omen was
wasn't
not a fun
immaculate,
ride.
it wasn't perfect.
It wasn't perfect. That was my note. I was like, the only reason this movie didn't get a perfect score is because it is not Immaculate.
Lucy, did you see First Omen?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I don't even really like the actual First Omen all that much. So
The original Omen.
Yeah.
I had no particular draw for this one.
Only
Got
reason I saw it is because a bunch of folks recommended it. They're like, it's not as bad as you were thinking. It's
Yeah.
actually very good. And I agree. It was a good Freaky, but just watch Immaculate.
Yeah.
Or Conclave. Go watch Conclave.
Yep. That's on my list. That's not a horror movie, everybody, but it is
Conclave.
supposed to be really good.
I did yell that in the theater. We went to go to the Alamo Draft House, and there was no one there. And we were like 3 beers in, and the whole time I just kept going, Conclave!
It feels very on brand.
Yeah, it was great. That's a
Yeah,
good movie.
that was my Terrifier experience. There were, I think, 7 other people in the theater with me,
Oh,
really? and nobody was laughing at the funny parts.
Oh, they're just laughing at the gore.
No, they weren't laughing at anything.
Boo.
That's what I like. They were just
Boo.
sitting there quietly, and then there's hilarious bloody
Trying to be
slapstick.
polite. Yeah. I don't want to
I
interrupt.
felt like a maniac. Nah.
Yeah, I saw when I went to go see Smile for the first time in the theater, there was a bunch of younger humans. So all the scary shit would happen, and then they'd be like, ah! And then you'd hear me in the back just go, ha, nice. Every time
Wicked.
something happened, involuntarily. Ah, nice.
So Chad, having that stolen your number one, What's your number 2 and or 3?
My number 2 horror film. Well, my number 3 was Exhuma, but we talked about it already.
Right.
So I had to
So
pivot
feel
to
free,
Infested.
Feel free to throw something else in if you want.
I did. I pivoted to Infested.
Feel free to do that
But I'll
again.
do again another
Yeah.
one.
Nice.
But for my number, are we doing 3s or 2s? I'm confused.
We're at
Where are we
2
at?
now.
Okay, we're at 2. My number 2 movie is my number 2 favorite horror film of the year, and that is a little film that is near and dear to me called Nosferatu.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, that was my number 2 as well.
It was just good cake, like T to B, good cake, and it
Yeah.
felt like I was
Snooter to Cuda, great movie.
Wait, what? Go on. What?
Snooter to Cuda, great movie.
We need to know what that is. What,
Snooter right here. Kuta down here. You know what I'm saying?
I've never heard that. Speaking of Southern euphemisms.
oh my goodness.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, snooter to cooter, T
Snooter
to
to
B,
cooter.
T to A to B to A. Excellent. Top to bottom.
Oh man.
Just good cake.
You kids,
Indulgent.
you fancy
You
talk.
fancy talk
man.
words. You dirty
That's fancy.
words.
Oh man. Wow.
No, it was like a rich, like chocolate lava cake of
Mm.
goodness, and I was like, this is indulgent. This is like, I feel it's one of those deep dish pizza movies where I'm like, I really don't know if I'm comfortable with others watching me watch this, because I'm sitting there going, yeah, do that, go in there, and then
Yeah,
they do.
I do love watching a guy crash out when his long distance weird girlfriend hooks up with a normie. It's awesome.
Yup.
I mean, you can relate, right? It's
totally.
it's
Yeah.
universal.
Right.
Yeah. I
No,
do get
I'm
out of
an
my
egg- I'm an
coffin and
Eggers
hang
freak.
my weird dong around. Yeah.
Do you know that Nicholas Holt got to keep that?
I
There's a
did
picture
see
of him
that.
on Instagram with him.
Yeah.
With it. Good for them. No, man, like I just couldn't get enough of it. I've seen it 3 times. I can't wait to go watch
Wow.
it again. It's just I want to live in it. I want to soak in it. But
there's
I'm
a lot to
I'm a
soak
ham
in.
and eggers, man. All
Yeah.
across the board. Ham and eggers across the board.
I see what you did there. Robert Eggers,
and
everybody. For those who
I'm
didn't get it.
totally stealing Willem Dafoe's character next time I play D&D because that's just an awesome guy. I once was a man of science, and now I've seen the real shit.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I haven't stopped talking like Nosferatu on podcasts, and I won't. I'm not going to stop now.
I like that you can.
Okay.
I like it when you text in Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Which is that's a new thing
lots
too.
of lots of long O's, lots of long E's. Don't hit me back.
Yeah, he's been making me call him my lord. It's weird.
I will use my title
As my noble blood.
Every now and then, I just like want to say to someone out of just with no context at all, just be like, "You are an enchantress. I am an appetite, nothing more."
Whoa, he's pretty
Yes.
good at
I was
that.
gonna say,
Wow.
you have
Not
seen
yet.
this 3 times.
Yeah, I've seen it many times.
I wasn't sure to include it or not because it did sneak in at Christmas,
But
but being
it's
that
done
we're
better.
recording like almost a month after the fact.
I watched
Yeah.
it on January 1st, but I liked it so much it had to be said.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
It was everything I was hoping it would be and more, and that's what Robert Eggers always does. He just does the thing, and he does it. Please do more. I know I've heard he's doing a werewolf movie next.
I heard that as well.
Ooh,
Which is
interesting.
very interesting because Blumhouse shit the bed apparently.
Well, having seen the Wolfman, the new one, I'm kind of like, we could do another werewolf movie. That'd be.
I
okay.
heard the werewolf looks kind of in that one.
Well,
Go
I would
see
say
it, and we'll talk about
I
it.
would say that it is in fact a wolf man. It is not a werewolf.
Oh, like Wolfman.
It's more wolfman than werewolf.
Okay,
I will say that.
interesting.
I will say
Interesting.
that. And I like the wolfman design.
Yeah, it's cool.
So I don't. If you're expecting a werewolf, you're not going to get that. Like if you're looking
No,
for the
good luck.
howling, it ain't happening. But,
Not much gives you that, really.
Or
you know.
wait for it, dog soldiers. Because
Yeah, pretty good.
Here we go
I-
again.
I like the ending credits of
Round
Dog
and
Soldiers
round
better than
and
the rest of the
round we
movie.
go.
you just stop right there. But anyway, Nosferatu, I like how, and this is not an original thought I've heard read this elsewhere, but I like how it is in conversation with all other versions of Nosferatu and
yeah.
other versions of Dracula, and it imposes its own mythology on top of it all, which I wonder for people who aren't as familiar with it, like how that went down for them, because
Right.
it feels like a lot.
Yeah.
It's a very rich
And
recipe.
There's an extended cut that is available currently that I am very excited to see.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because I'm
I
sure it's
did-
going to be more conversations with Nicholas Hoult and Count Orlok, and I'm like, this is why I'm here.
Yeah.
And I did point at the screen and make the like soy jack face every time he would like Orlok would hold his hands in the way Max Shrek did, or anytime they did a shadow thing that came from the original movie. I was like, oh, they're doing the thing from the silent film. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's horror for horror nerds, and I was happy to be a horror nerd and experience it. So that's why it's my number 2.
Because I just revisited the Werner Herzog Nosferatu earlier, and I love how there's elements of that. There's elements of the F.W. Murnau, and there's Bram Stoker's Dracula. Like there's just a lot of stuff in there, and yet it feels like its own beast at the same time.
Because he leans in on Lily Depp's story. Like
Correct.
It's more about her than anything else.
And man, she had, even under the veneer of actress plastic surgery, she has Johnny Depp's cheekbones. It's so crazy. Weird. It's wild. So she looks so much like his daughter.
Yep.
We were at a horror trivia night, and one of our teammates we were talking about the movie. And
was this at the Brood?
Was it the Brood?
Shout out to the Brood.
We won, by the way.
Yeah, of course you did. I'd be shocked.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Like, come on.
But she was kind of like, if you're going to be a Nepo baby, it helps to be really friggin' good as well.
Be a Depo baby.
And she really, that was good.
Thank you.
A Depo baby.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's solid. I think the cast is great overall. So yeah, I have no issues at all with Nosferatu, except for the fact that it came out on Christmas, so I wasn't sure whether to include it or not. So there you go.
But what a genius idea to make it come out on Christmas, because it felt like a Christmas movie. It
totally,
was very, it had all
maybe it will be a Christmas holiday
I'm in.
Tradition.
The colder it gets in Chicago, the more I just want to watch it again and again and again. Because
that Terrifier cool fur hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Christmas is going to start being like Muppets Christmas Carol, 8 Crazy Nights, Terrifier 3, Nosferatu.
It goes dark after a bit, guys. Hours is adult Christmas.
Yeah, we'll mix the order around to keep everyone on their toes.
On their toes. We're starting with Nosferatu this year.
Nice. Lucy, another.
I'm jumping around. I'm going out of the ordered things because I do have a solid number 1, and the rest are sort of all over the place.
Yep.
And this one is kind of a toss-up, so I'm going with the one that I liked a little bit better, as much as I liked the other one, and that would be a Satanic Hispanics.
Oh, you did get to see that. Good.
Yeah, that movie rules. It's awesome. If you don't know, it's about a guy. These like border town police wander up on a shipping container, and there's a bunch of dead federal agents and civilians, and there's one guy left alive. And they take him in for questioning because obviously it seems as though he's done the deed here. And it turns out that he's being pursued by some unknown force. And he has these trinkets that are all artifacts from these different stories, which are the short films that make up Satanic Hispanics. It's the first one. I can't remember the name of it, but it's made by the guy who did Aterados.
Nice. He's the guy that did Where Evil Lurks too.
Yeah, and it's got that sort of terrified vibe to it. It's great. The lighting's awesome. The story's really cool. Nice. And it's got the spookies in it. And then it's got a really funny one about a vampire who's out on Halloween because he can be out on Halloween and nobody cares. But it doesn't look like he's going to make it home before sunrise, and it's hilarious. It was so good.
That's so funny.
And then Jonah Ray has is the final vignette in the film, and it's sort of like an Evil Dead kind of thing, but it's awesome. If you haven't seen it, that one's on Shudder, and it rules.
We saw Jonah Ray was in Destroy All Neighbors, right?
Yeah.
Which was in my kind of like random top 10, top 11.
I totally glossed over that one, and I loved that movie. That was a lot of fun.
I want that to be a double feature with Frankie Freako.
Oh, I still haven't
seen Frankie Freako?
I did. I saw it twice, actually.
Yeah.
because the first time I saw it, I was like, "What?" And then I saw it again. I was like, okay."
Satanic Hispanics has been living in my Shudder queue for like a long time, and thank you for giving me. I kind of keep scrolling past it, and I will no longer do that.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's awesome.
You, Chad, you saw it as well?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Same with me. It's also in my thing, and I just remember Lucy talking about it a bunch, saying like, "This is great, and I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it." And I'm just happy that you did, and I will absolutely see it.
Well, perhaps we will talk about it on a future episode. Good recommendation. I'm going to talk about a little movie nobody's ever heard of called The Substance.
That was my number one. That was my number one.
That was my honorable mention.
Let's just all talk about The Substance right now.
Yeah. The only reason it's not in my top 5 is because all those other movies are.
Because everybody else is going to talk about The Substance anyway. So
no, it's fucking yes.
It was the best movie I watched last year. It was so friggin' good.
Yeah. Yes, and yes.
And we did talk about it on an episode already, so you feel free to listen to us gush about that one. Because yes, it is delightful and wonderful, and it is all the things that people are saying it is. Mm-hmm. It is not overhyped. Everybody just shut the front door.
Yeah, this is one of the only times you can listen to the internet hype machine.
Yeah,
like
please
this,
do.
It is good. It's better than the hype machine.
Yeah,
I mean,
because the hype machine's hyping it in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
There's so much going on with this movie. It's campy and stupid and silly and fun, but deep and poignant in parts. Interesting. Yes. All of it is in one giant like salad. It's just a big old horror salad.
And extraordinary performances across the board. It's written and directed by a female. You know, it's like this is the movie we need right now.
This is the future. It's the future.
Yeah,
it's where we're going.
That's why I got in like a Fat Boy Slim music video, because it's the future.
Look at that. Look at you, really do. You look like you're in like a Beastie Boys movie. Beastie Boys video. I went to the car to get some milk. Anyway.
Put in the Pepsi, then it's pilk. Yeah.
So we don't even really have to include Substance in our top 5 because it's obviously in the above the top 5.
It's doing better than our silly rankings need give it.
Yeah. I do want to toss in just a shout out for a movie that I really enjoyed, and I kind of missed the boat on it the first time around. Prey, the Predator movie.
Predator one. Yeah.
That was awesome.
I really enjoyed that, and I feel like I didn't hear a lot of buzz about it. Nobody was like, "You have to see this movie." And I was like, they made another Predator movie.
Right.
I mean, okay, I guess.
I
was like, why did they put it in the theaters? You know, I was like, this can't be very good. And I saw it. I'm like, this movie's quite good.
Yep.
And it, again, like The Substance, it has a lot of really important things to say wrapped up in a Predator movie.
Yeah, I feel like it's also like, even on top of like the prescient and important things it has going on, it's also like the best Predator movie they've made in 30 years.
Yeah,
so
there's only 3 as far as I'm concerned. There's Predator, Predator 2, and Prey. Everything else has its
if Alien versus Predator wasn't so dark, not in content, but they literally don't have any fucking light in that movie,
right.
it would be awesome if you could see what was going on.
Right.
I know people would argue with you, but
well, let them argue.
That's
right.
Man,
I don't care.
The door. Gary, open the door.
Yeah. In the comments, please have your.
Speaking of
AVP
alien movies, is Romulus on anybody's list? Because I had a good time, but it did not crack.
I have it in my honorable mention.
Yeah,
just below my top 10. So yes,
I did really like it. I thought it was a perfectly serviceable alien film.
Yeah, I had a great time, and I like that he took it to the Fede Alvarez zone when he wanted to.
And I will argue anybody. I think it's the 3rd best alien movie. You know, like you got Alien, Aliens, and then I would say Alien Romulus.
Interesting.
In terms of rewatchability, I'll revisit that. I won't revisit 3 or Resurrection. The AVP
Resurrection.
You do not love Alien.
Yeah, I do. It's corny.
So
it's corny. It's awesome.
Ron Perlman's in it. I'm not mad about it.
I like Resurrection. I really liked Prometheus. That one makes people mad.
Get off
really
my show
hurts
right
my
now.
Chest.
I liked it.
Come back.
Whatever.
Come back on my show.
I had a whole run on a Prometheus where I wouldn't stop donking on it.
Oh man.
Boo yourself.
It's so dumb.
Boo yourself.
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
It was awesome.
Did you like Covenant?
I think I saw not even the last. I saw like the middle 45 minutes of it in a hotel once, and I haven't gone back to it.
You're not missing
You and I
anything.
live very different lives.
Yeah.
Chad, is there a movie we haven't talked about yet? Because
Yes.
this is the most random top 5
Yes.
of all time.
So my number 1 of the year was Immaculate, but it was tied with Smile 2.
I still haven't seen
we
that.
Still haven't
No one's-
seen.
No one's talking about Smile 2. It is.
Why is that?
I don't know. It is as good, if not better, than Smile 1. They elevate the movie to an epic level, and they do a lot more with the themes of like what the Smile Demon is from the perspective of a pop star.
Which is
I
what
think
a
it's really
sequel
dope.
should do. I think a sequel
truly
should
good
take
sequel.
existing lore and like really crack it open. That's what they did in Nightmare 3. Come on.
Yeah, it
Yep.
is Aliens to Alien, Smile 2 to Smile, for sure.
Okay,
T2
okay.
to Terminator, across the board. It's just
Wow.
a better, bigger version of the first one.
How about RoboCop 2 to RoboCop? Don't answer that.
Do you love RoboCop 2? I bet you
No,
do.
I haven't seen it in eons.
But you love it, don't you?
I like the.
It's
Why,
fun.
you,
It's
why are you
fun.
talking to me like this? What are we doing? What are we
Like,
talking
are you
about?
guys? Do you guys want me to leave?
Yeah, this is. Yeah, don't you?
It's getting kinky.
Just
yeah,
say
no,
it.
Smile
Say
2.
it.
Smile 2 is like it's just like it's a feast. And there's so much to love about it, so much to rewatch about it. There's like all these actors in it that you don't really know very well because they're just sort of like adjacent and or nepo babies. And they're all very good in it because Jack Nicholson's kid is in it and he's great.
Oh, wow.
No, I
but-
didn't know his kid was acting. That's
Yeah,
cool.
he's in. He plays the smile. He really does too. Like he just smiles a lot, and you're like,
I would
oh,
say
yeah,
so. He just smiles like Jack Nicholson, and
that's
everyone
Jack
gets freaked out.
Nicholson's kid.
Yeah,
It's true. That's kind of what he does in the movie, but at the same time, it's fine because you're like, yeah, this. If you're gonna be a nepo baby in a film, this is what I would want from you, and like, but the vibe of the movie is just jittery like the first one. It's really scary. The jumps are great. The ending is epic.
nice.
More, please. Do another one. Can't wait. Make another one. But make the third one called Smile More, which is what you should have called this one. But it's
That's
fine.
got to be the fourth one because
Oh,
it
yeah, maybe.
rhymes. Yeah.
Smile. Yeah, that was my top one, which is with an asterisk.
Cool.
Is Immaculate and Smile 2, best horror films of the year.
And Lucy?
I've got like several honorable mentions because I watched lots of movies that I loved, but I don't like. I couldn't stack them against some of these other ones, like Sator.
Oh yeah.
Not like the goat-legged fantasy creatures, but Sator.
I love that movie. Wait, did you
Yeah.
just watch that this year?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man, I love that movie. I saw it
so-
a couple years ago. Yeah.
So that was one. I loved Sator. Let's see, Heretic. That was
Yes.
another one.
Heretic's on my list too.
solid.
Oh,
Fun.
and Hugh Grant was so fine in
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
Let's
I
see.
love how they weaponize Hugh Grant's charm. And he
Yeah,
doesn't have to-
totally.
he doesn't have to transform. He's the Hugh Grant you know and love, and he's just terrifying.
They go nuclear on the underlighting whenever it's time for him
Yeah.
to be evil, and I was like, well, damn.
And
Okay.
shouts out for the analogy comparing Judaism to the anti-capitalist monopoly
Yep,
that
love
came
that.
before Monopoly. That was kind of
Pretty
cool.
dope.
And then let's see, The Tingler was another honorable mention. It wasn't the first time I had seen it, but it was the first time I had seen it with like a functioning adult brain.
Yes. We talked
let-
about that on this show.
Yeah, well, I didn't, but someone did.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Some
then,
jerk.
yeah, some Jewish off back there. And then let's see, Frogman was another one.
Yep.
Mr. Crockett.
Like that movie a
Mr.
lot.
Yeah.
Crockett was a ton of fun.
Yep.
It's totally, oh man, my arm again, but it's totally Nightmare on Elm Street by way of,
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
I was going to say internet mascot horror creepypasta or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Pee-wee's Playhouse, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. What if the children's show is actually kind of fucked up thing?
And it was legit freaky and like has a really cool point to it.
Yeah, I was sitting at the TV going, Mr. Crockett did nothing wrong by the time we were getting to the ending.
Leave him be.
But yeah, those were my big honorable mentions there. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so we didn't have like an official. What was your number? Number one was the substance.
Substance. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
I had a couple of honorable mentions that are below the substance.
Well, I have to give my number one first.
Oh, you haven't done your number
Yeah.
one
Let
yet?
the man
Yeah.
speak.
Fine, go.
Well, because I'm wondering if one of them is among your honorable
Oh, yeah,
mentions.
good call.
So, my number one is the coffee table.
Oh,
I
man.
forgot
Wow.
about the coffee table.
I have not screamed at a movie in that much in so long. I had such a great time.
Yes.
It was so uncomfortable.
Yes.
And I couldn't believe how long they sustained that situation, that tension, that comedy. People were calling it a comedy. I'm like,
yeah,
it is.
It is.
It is
Yeah.
so it's blacker than black comedy.
Yeah.
You and I got to see that together, and that
Oh,
was
man,
a
it was
singular
just
experience for me.
glorious. It was truly one of my favorite viewing experiences of 2024.
The amount of times we would look at each other and go, "What are they gonna do?"
I do appreciate, and I gotta hand it to the filmmakers. When the crux of the movie happens, I was like, "Well, there's one way this
Right.
is going to end."
Right,
only
right.
And,
There's no way out, guy.
yeah, I remember looking at. I'm not going to say, but yeah, there was no other way. No other way.
I
And
love that they did horror of just mundane things. Like he
Yep.
had to go to friggin' Lowe's, and you're like, "Oh God, don't go to Lowe's."
oh, and salespeople. man.
Yeah, and then he had then he got hit on by a sales guy, and you're
Yep.
like, "Not a good time, dude. Bad time."
Yeah, but you got red on you. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
so
but
that was
yeah.
far and away my
Yeah.
favorite movie of the year in terms of
It-
just an experience.
And you're right. It is a comedy in the way that movie Happiness is a comedy. You know?
Yes, right,
Oh,
right.
good call. Yeah, or like Gummo.
Oh man, Gummo. I wouldn't call Gummo a comedy,
That was,
but
barely a
yeah,
movie.
that was my irony for the day.
but it's got Sleep's Dragonaut in it, so that gets it points immediately. Do, do, da, da, do, da, 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 da,
Well,
da.
when Substance was nominated for the Golden Globe for comedy or musical, people were like, "It's not a comedy." I'm like,
It
um,
is.
Yeah, it
It's
totally
very
is.
funny.
I don't know what you. I'm like, I don't know what you
do
need
you
from a
think
comedy.
is?
Yeah, because comedy makes me
Dick
laugh.
jokes and Will Ferrell.
Well, there was no Will Ferrell in the substance.
Yeah, plenty of dick jokes. So, yeah.
Dick jokes.
And then
God,
I had
the coffee table. I can't believe I forgot about it.
no. It's okay. It's okay. I
Oh.
had your back, and I want to make
I
sure.
forgot about it on purpose. I don't know.
And Chad,
Hello.
what were some of your honorable mentions you wanted to throw out?
Oh, couple honorable mentions. Mads, I really liked. That's David Moreau. I think it's a French movie, I believe. Zombie film, a lot of fun, real jittery, fun, freaky shit. Trap was my favorite
Yes.
surprise of the year.
Same here. Same
Loved it,
here.
loved it,
Really?
loved it. Yeah.
Same here. I was so
Entertained from T to B.
exactly.
Cooter to snooter.
Yeah, there you go. Let
We
it
can
catch
say it
on.
on YouTube. But yeah, no, really, every now and then Shyamalan gets me with a gem, and I think this one's a gem. Is it dumb? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the
Super
dialogue
dumb.
confoundingly stupid? Of
Yep.
course it is. It's
Yep.
Shyamalan. He takes so many big swings in this movie that you're like, whoa,
Yep.
did not expect. Okay, man, I'm all in.
Yep.
Josh Hartnett's amazing.
I was so delighted. I feel about it the way I felt about Romulus. I was like, this shouldn't be as much fun as it is, and yet I'm having a great time. And I keep counting Shyamalan out. I swore, really, like literally swore, I was never going to watch another Shyamalan movie after I saw Old.
Ugh.
And
Yeah.
then I saw Knock at the Cabin. I was like, okay. But this
Was that
one,
the
I'm
one
like,
that had Batista in it? And
Yes.
I heard
That
he
was
did
that one.
really good.
yes,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I was like,
very good.
He
I
really is like the best wrestler turned actor out of the bunch.
I think that's true.
And then I have two more that I wanted to put on the mix here because we were talking about stuff. Strange Darling, I think, is a horror film.
Man, I want to see that so bad.
And I stand by it. It's not as good as a lot of folks say it is. It is very fun and in a really messed up way. But I think it's a horror film, and I thought that should be on the list. And but I enjoyed it in a weird sense. And then the last one on there, I think Daddy's Head has a
Oh.
terrible title, but was a lot of good stuff.
That one was buried in my list somewhere, but I loved that movie. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
The guys over at Discover the Horror, that was one of their top films of the year as well. And it's on Shudder, I believe.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's immediately, I'm like, well, see, now it's up in your list as well. So I'll be seeing that soon.
It is. There's a lot of really. Did you ever see that show on Netflix, Dark? That German show. That's a little bit of like Twin Peaks meets like. It's got a True Detective kind of like vibe to it, like True Detective season 1, where it's really slow and you think it's supernatural and you're not entirely sure if it is or it isn't. That's kind of what Daddy's Head was, except it was full on from the beginning. Oh, this is supernatural.
It's upsetting, but it's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's also sad. And that was the other one, Azrael.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
That's in my honorable mention too.
It's fine. It's not great. It's not bad though.
Yeah. So what I heard is that again from the Discover the Horror guys is like in order to really appreciate that movie, you have to understand all the references,
right?
And like you have to like get on the internet to really appreciate that movie. And I was like, oh well, I did not do that because when it was over, I was like, that was fine. But apparently they put a lot of care into that movie, and there's a lot of references there, characters' names that correspond with the legend. I'm like, okay, all right. I don't like movies that I have to do research for in order to appreciate. I should like be able to appreciate them on their own. But I like the fact that I can appreciate it on a deeper level if I have that knowledge already.
Yeah.
I got the kind of brainworms that loves to have to do homework for a movie.
I don't mind it. I'm okay. I love a Marvel movie, and you kind of have to Google through 4 centuries worth of Marvel movies to understand.
Yeah, who's
one
this guy everybody's
cameo.
yelling about?
Right. And so like I don't mind it. But I feel like even with the lore attached to it, it's just there was something in like I love indie movies, of course. I love an indie film. There was something about it that was indie that it didn't need to be. Like something about the sound. I don't know. There was just something about it that I was like, this isn't as good as it could be. But truly great ending.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Samara Weaving, of course. Please continue.
Yep.
Never stop.
Keep what you're doing. We like it. Daughter of Hugo Weaving. Somehow I had never put those two together.
Yep.
Speaking of nepotism.
I'm going to nod and pretend like I know who those people are.
Hugo Weaving.
He hasn't seen Lord of the Rings.
He has seen The Matrix, though.
Yeah,
He's
I
Agent
have
Smith.
seen The Matrix.
He's Agent.
Okay, got it. Yep.
And Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Yes. Oh, he's so good in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
I don't know that one either.
Really?
What?
Oh, you would love.
You would
like,
love
go
that.
tonight.
Yes.
That's a night watch. That's a
Put
Sunday
that
watch.
on your list.
It's a classic from the 90s.
It really is. So some of my honorable mentions that haven't been mentioned. Abigail, I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Fun times.
Destroy All Neighbors, which we referenced earlier.
Yeah, very sick.
In a Violent Nature, I
Yeah,
really
we like talking
dug.
about that one. Yeah.
Baghead, I liked.
Oh, Baghead.
Yeah, okay.
Baghead.
Yeah, it was all right.
And Chad's not going to like this, but I thought Cuckoo was an honorable
mention.
No.
Yeah, I loved Cuckoo. I thought that movie was so cool.
There's so many good moments in it that even though I don't know that it sticks the landing at all, and I don't know that it draws the strings together enough that you could possibly make sense of it. I really liked it.
Maybe it's not supposed to.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's the part of the thing. You don't know. You don't know.
I'm never doing an ending again. I'm just going to leave it abruptly at the end. Just be like,
You know what? That's awesome. I would love
Figure it out
that.
for yourself.
Please do. I think that's sweet.
And then I want to throw out a quick shout out for a movie called Crumb Catcher, Chris Scotch-Doppel.
That's not a real name. That's not a real name.
I got to see that at the Music Box with Larry Fessenden in person. He was the producer on it. The basic premise is you've got a newlywed couple that goes to a house, and the guy who catered the wedding gloms onto the groom and brings him the slice of the wedding cake that he'd left behind, and then sticks around and tries to insinuate himself into this newlywed's, wedding night.
Nice.
And it just gets weirder and weirder from there. Great performances all the way around. So Crumb Catcher, keep an eye out
Oh,
for it.
are you sure it's not supposed to be called Cuck Catcher? These are the jokes, people.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
this looks cool. I was Googling while you were talking.
Yes, it is cool. It is.
Oh, you were
very cool.
Googling Cuck Catcher, huh?
Yeah. My search history came right up.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm so sure.
So that's our year-end wrap up. I have just a quick
Wrap.
I wanted to mention some of the other movies that maybe we didn't talk about. Beetlejuice came out this
Yeah.
year.
Awesome.
Great.
Devil's Bath,
Oh yeah.
don't
I didn't
know
get to
that
see
one, yeah.
yet. I heard it was gross.
Godzilla X Kong,
Oh.
Oh,
fun.
I haven't seen that. I
Good
haven't
times.
seen that.
Good times.
Humane.
Haven't seen it yet, but
Don't know
it
that
is on
one,
the
yeah.
list. It's
I
in my
saw the
letterbox.
TV Glow.
Oh,
I
forgot
want to
about
see
that
that
one
so
too.
bad, but I just
Great
know it's gonna
movie.
break my heart,
is.
and
It
I
is
don't
gonna
know
break your heart.
if I'm ready for that yet.
It's so important. It's an important film. Everyone should see it. It's very like, oh, it's another one of those important movies that needs to be seen now.
And
Yeah,
we didn't-
everything I know about it makes me feel like I may be a little too seen by it,
Yeah,
and I really don't know if I need that.
yeah, it's an emotional experience.
I can't believe none of us mentioned it, but Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the, you know
Yeah,
why?
pretty good, pretty good.
Because I loved it when I first saw it, and then I went back and rewatched it, and I was like, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like
like-
the idea of it.
I like that Des Malchin guy more
Yeah,
than I
well,
like
you know,
the whole movie.
Another
Yeah.
Chicago guy, Davey Dasmalch, big fan.
There's a movie called Things Will Be Different,
Interesting.
That sounds cool.
Love
Yep.
that.
and MaXXXine also came out this year.
MaXXXine
Oh, I
came
haven't
out
seen
this year.
MaXXXine yet, but I saw Pearl last year, and I like
Ah,
that.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
great. I
solid.
like that one the best out of all of them.
Two more. Never Let Go.
Don't know
That's
that.
the Halle Berry one.
I don't know.
Okay.
And Night Swim.
Oh, what a
Yeah, I liked
bleh.
Night Swim a lot better when it was a 10-minute short film.
I really liked VHS Beyond.
Oh,
That
sure.
one
Yeah,
was
that was
fun.
fun. Yeah, I like that.
I'd never seen Friday the 13th Part 3.
Oh God.
Wow.
Or I did and I forgot it.
I'm so
I
glad
couldn't
you
tell.
saw it.
I was like, I feel like I watched all of these once.
Yeah, I got the tape for that one in here somewhere.
You know what? I'm sorry. I just saw two more that I'd forgotten. Starve Acre,
No,
which is
no
a
idea.
folk horror with Matt Smith from
Oh,
Doctor Who.
nice.
Whoa! Oh, that yeah. Okay, I've seen pictures of him
Yeah.
from that and haven't watched the movie yet.
The
the-
Vourdalak. If you haven't seen that one, that's a
Oh,
fun
right.
one. That's a
Oh,
fun
I heard
one.
that's awesome. Yeah.
Stop motion.
Maybe
Oh,
that
I
was
want
on
to see
there.
that.
I didn't like it a lot. I thought it was okay. I thought it was kind of bland.
Another Dower one, right?
Yeah, super dour. Could have been fun. If you want a scary stop motion movie, watch Mad God.
Yeah.
Oh, please watch Mad God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I think that is all the time we have. Thank you both so much for being co-pilots on this wonderful adventure. Looking forward to future adventures in the year to come, because
Let's go.
we're going to need to have these good times,
Yes, please.
people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
get together with your horror friends and talk about movies, because this is how we're going to get through the dark days.
Yup.
Wait, what? I haven't the foggiest what you're talking about.
I'm not seeing what you're talking about, man.
I told Chad and Lucy via text that honestly, going back and watching the episodes that we've done is such a wonderful place of just going back to gonna
the
be all right.
before times.
You know, it's. I feel like once we get through all the darkness,
Yeah.
if we get through all the darkness,
You know.
I feel like it's the thing that Henry Rollins says. Hey, man, at least the punk is going to be great.
Yes.
And I'm
Yeah,
like, I
right.
feel the
Yeah,
same way
yeah.
about the horror films. I feel like
No.
the horror movies are going to be dope.
Well, 2024 was one of the best
Yep,
years.
really was.
I mean, it really, I rarely have this many new movies. And I also have thank you to thank for dragging me to enough of them to be like, hey, you should see this. You should see this. So I appreciate you keeping me abreast of what's
Peace
going
and
on.
Rest.
I'll say it again. Any final thoughts? Any final words?
I was really trying to find something funny to sort of counterbalance this realness that was
Cooter
happening,
to
but I got
snooter.
nothing. Cooter to snooter, baby. Take the year as it comes. Cooter to snooter. Yeah.
Tubi.